Hello everyone. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for giving my pregnant girlfriend an ultimatum? My GF, Jen, and I have been together for 4 years. Back in April, two great things happened. We found out Jen is pregnant and I closed on a house for us to move into. Our family and friends know about the pregnancy, including Jen's best childhood friend, Amanda. I will admit, I never liked the dynamic between Amanda and Jen, but it did not really affect our relationship since Amanda lived across the country. After finding out about the pregnancy, Amanda decided to move back home. We live in Jen and Amanda's hometown. Amanda has been back since late May and all hell has broke loose. Jen has always felt a little self-conscious in our relationship. I work construction and do personal training. She feels intimidated by small girls, but I have no idea why. She is a sexy AF woman with amazing curves. Amanda has done nothing but played into Jen's insecurities and anxieties since being back. Jen and I have never been the tracking location couple or looking through phones couple. We always considered that a red flag in a relationship. Amanda has convinced Jen that she needs to start doing that. So, she has been looking through my phone on a regular and finding nothing. I have communicated my hurt and frustration and that I think she needs to distance herself from Amanda. She kept rebuffing my concerns. About 2 weeks ago, Jen again asked to look through my phone. I told her in no uncertain terms that this will be the last time she looks through my phone. If she again sees nothing suspicious, then she needs to agree to go to counseling and distance herself from Amanda. She agreed, looked through my phone, and found nothing suspicious. But she soon reneged on her promise to do counseling and distancing herself from Amanda. I decided to move out. We are currently on a month-to-month lease in an apartment until renovations get done on the house I bought. I am staying with a friend until the house is ready and then I will move in alone. Jen has asked me to reconsider. I refuse. She will likely need to move in with her mother, which is not ideal given the limited space, which I feel terrible about for my child. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for taking my daughter out for a nice dinner and leaving everyone else to fend for themselves? My daughter, 16F, and I, 43F, love eating at authentic Asian restaurants. We had to pick my son, 12, up at a Korean barbecue about 40 minutes from our house. It was a party with another family. I suggested to my husband, 44M, of 25 years that he and the 2 other kids can have whatever they wanted for dinner and my daughter and I would get Korean barbecue at this restaurant. He said no, we should all go as a family. I reminded him that he and the other kids aren't big fans of Korean barbecue and it would be cheaper to eat separately. He insisted on everyone going. When we get to the restaurant and he sees the menu, he complains he doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. The other kids followed suit. I suggested they go eat in another restaurant in the plaza Andy daughter and I will get the Korean food. It smelled so amazing BTW. We waited 20 minutes for a table and he continued to make comments about the price. Even told me you better not order anything fancy. That was the last straw. I got up and went to the van. Everyone followed. I said I was taking everyone home and my daughter and I would go on our own to a local Korean barbecue. We did exactly that. Everyone else had McDonald's and played Roblox. I get home and he is fuming saying that I owe everyone an apology. I refused. I said I had zero remorse. It seemed like everyone was happy but him and went to bed. I slept perfectly fine. He's still mad. So, am I the bad person for taking my daughter out for dinner and leaving everyone else to do their own thing? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for walking out of my in-laws with my daughter and leaving my husband behind because they all ganged up on me to name our son one of the family names? My husband, 32M, and I, 31F, have been married for 5 years. We have a 2-year-old daughter together and I'm expecting our son in a few months. When we met, he told me there were some family names for the boys that everyone was encouraged to use and he didn't want to. I told him I hated the idea of being obligated to name my kids after other people, so that worked for me. He mostly goes by his middle name too because he felt like it allowed him his own identity instead of being another Tim in the family. We had no issues naming our daughter a non-family name. But a few weeks after we found out we were having a boy this time and we had started making a list of names we liked, he started switching things up on me and saying we should pick one of the 3 family names. I told him I wasn't okay with that, and he was like, come on, it's not a big deal, and even if you don't like them, it makes everyone else happy. I asked him why the sudden switch up, and he said it was to make his family happy. And I asked him was he willing to do that at the expense of me being unhappy, and he said no. But then he asked what we could pair those names with to make it okay, and he started suggesting middle names for those 3 as first names to try and change my mind. This continued for weeks, and I told him we needed a break from baby names before we started outright fighting over this. He apologized and agreed to stopping the name talk for a few weeks. When we went back to it, he started suggesting names for our list that I just thought were awful and would never use. They were so unlike the names already on our list. And then he was like, the family names aren't so bad now, and I said the answer to them was still no. I suggested we could use them as middle names if he really wanted to, and he said we could easily use a name we love as a middle name and use the family names first. Then we were at his family's house a couple of weekends ago to celebrate his niece's birthday. It was a low-key thing and just dinner. But it turned into a shitshow of everyone ganging up on me and asking why I was against the family names and could I honestly think of better names. I was told the names we liked were just okay and some were downright awful, but these 3 family names were amazing, fabulous, full of charm and other compliments that I felt went a bit over the top with how much emphasis was put on them basically being the 3 best boys' names to ever exist ever. My husband was joining in with them, and I was being told that I acted like giving birth made me the more important parent and how it should matter what they and my husband want. That I can suck it up and deal with it to make him and them happy. How is this as a boy he should get priority in naming him? And that I'm so selfish for trying to break this wonderful family tradition. By that point I was just done with it, and I took my daughter and went home, leaving my husband there. He was upset when he got home and asked me why I left him behind and why I stormed out like that in the first place. I told him that they all ganged up on me, so why would I stay? And I told him he wasn't being a very good or supportive husband right now and that I wasn't in the mood to act like things were perfectly fine. He apologized since, but his family are saying I made him apologize when he didn't need to and I acted childishly and I'm blowing things up over a name which seems unfair. They even said it's not like it's a single name because I have 3 to choose from, which is better than some families offer. I feel like they make it sound worse and worse to me. Like there's rules around naming babies or something. My husband and I still are working through stuff. But am I the bad person? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for wanting to ask my future mother-in-law to move out of our house? I 29F and my fiancée 29M live in a 3-bedroom house for 3 years now. We used to rent, but when we got pregnant, we decided we were in our best financial state to get a mortgage. My parents and his parents gave us some cash to help with the down payment of our house, and we bought a house. Anyway, my fiancée renovated the house and it is now in excellent condition. After a year, my future MIL and FIL decided to move in with us for a year, as my FIL would like to travel 6 months a year overseas to visit his mom and deal with some stuff. When they moved, they completely took over my kitchen, changed my plates and put away my appliances to use theirs, used their dining table, used the living room without considering other people. By this I mean changing the show if I paused it to go pee, and overall just using it as if they owned the house, not even considering that we have a 1-year-old living in the house. I've talked to them about it, but they just brush me off or say yeah, but still use their stuff or do whatever they want again. A year from when they moved in has passed and they haven't moved out yet, and my FIL has been traveling back and forth, and my MIL is being like a queen where I have to look after her dishes, hang her laundry, clean her bathroom, etc. There were some small habits that are driving me insane. She also tries to subtly be bitchy to me, and I've been keeping it all in. A few months ago, my sister visited us for an event and has told us that my MIL was saying that they should be able to live here as they lent us cash and also to help us with the child. She's tried to pay rent, but it's never consistent as she's not very good with finances. She will prioritize a trip with her friends instead paying to go to the doctor. This drove me nuts as this was not true. They sporadically helped us with taking care of the child, but we also didn't know that the cash was only a loan as they didn't tell us that. So my fiancé and I decided that we're going to pay it all off, and we finally did. My fiancé has been very supportive of me but also feels bad for his parents as he is an only child. I am pregnant the 2nd time around now, and we would like to use the 3rd room for my baby boy, my in-law's room. The rooms are small, so we definitely cannot fit 2 single beds in one room. My first child is a girl and she already sleeps by herself, and we decided having another baby sleep in her room will disrupt her sleep pattern, especially cause the room is small and could not fit another bed, only a small cot. We've tried to talk to my in-laws, but they are only saying they'll move soon, maybe in 3 months or maybe next year. My fiancé has also been asking them a lot, but he doesn't get clear answers, so I'm wanting to intervene as they rarely tell me any of their decisions even when I'm physically in front of them. I've asked advice from my parents and they're saying I should try to be more lenient as it might cause some drama if I give them a final date to move out. So I'm wondering, would I be the bad person if I give them 3 months to move out? 3 months after my baby is born. You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.